End the summer of 2004, Blockbuster borrowed over $1 billion. Not to fight Netflix, not to build new stores. They borrowed it to buy a goodbye present for the company that was leaving them. And that one decision, a present nobody remembers, is the real reason Blockbuster couldn't survive what came next. Everybody knows the legend. Today, I'm going to show you the paperwork. Let's go. Here's the version you've heard 100 times. The year 2000. A little company called Netflix flies to Dallas and offers to sell itself to Blockbuster. Blockbuster laughs them out of the room. 7 years later, the board fires the CEO. A few years after that, Blockbuster is bankrupt and Netflix rules the world. Clean story. Easy villain. And it's mostly wrong, because that story is missing the one piece that actually explains everything. A piece that has nothing to do with Reed Hastings and nothing to do with that famous meeting. To find it, we have to rewind not to the year 2000, but to the year 2004. Okay, before the boring grown-up numbers, let me explain what happened using a lemonade stand. Stick with me, this is the whole video in 60 seconds. Imagine your big brother has been running the family lemonade stand for years. He owns most of it. You just help out. One day he announces, "I'm bored. I'm moving out. The stand is all yours." Sounds great, right? Free lemonade stand. But before he leaves, he does something sneaky. He makes the stand itself take out a loan from the bank. A huge one. And then he takes almost all of that borrowed money and keeps it as a going-away present to himself. Now here's your new life. You own the stand, but every single week, before you've sold 1 cup of lemonade, you owe the bank a payment. You didn't spend that money, you never even held it, but you have to pay it back. That's not a made-up story. That is exactly, almost detail for detail, what happened to Blockbuster in 2004. The big brother was a company called Viacom. Let me show you the real numbers, and I promise they're wilder than the cartoon. Back in early 2004, a media giant called Viacom owned about 81.5% of Blockbuster. Basically, Viacom was the big brother. It owned almost the whole stand, and Viacom wanted out. Blockbuster was shrinking. Viacom's boss wanted the cash tied up in it to go spend somewhere shinier. So in June of 2004, they announced the deal. And here's the exact term, straight from the filing. Before Viacom let go, Blockbuster would pay every single shareholder a special cash distribution of $5 per share. Add all the shares together, and that's about $905 million. Nearly $1 billion paid out to shareholders. And who owned 81.5% of those shares? Viacom. So, of that nearly $1 billion, about $738 million went straight to Viacom, the big brother, on the way out the door. And here's the little cherry on top from the actual document for Viacom, that payment was tax-free. So far, so normal, right? A company pays its shareholders. Happens every day. Except for one tiny problem. Blockbuster didn't have $900 million. It wasn't sitting in a vault, so to pay this goodbye present, they borrowed it. Blockbuster took out a brand new $1.45 billion line of credit. And on top of that, they sold $300 million in special IOUs called notes, money they promised to pay back years later, in 2012. Just like the lemonade stand. The company took on the debt. The company handed the cash to its departing owner, and now the company was on the hook. Blockbuster walked into its brand new independent life already carrying $1 billion hole. A hole it dug not to compete, but to say goodbye. Now, here's the part I need you to really sit with. This is the whole video. The year they took on all this debt, 2004, was the exact year they needed money the most. Netflix was growing like a weed, and Blockbuster's CEO, John Antioco, wasn't asleep. He knew. He was about to launch a real fight back, a mail-order movie service that became Total Access. A genuine plan to beat Netflix at its own game. But building that whole system took real money. And Blockbuster was showing up to the biggest fight of its life with $1 billion weight already strapped to its back. And don't take my word for how much this mattered. Take Netflix's. Years later, Netflix founder Reed Hastings, the guy who won, said this about Blockbuster: "If it hadn't been for their debt, they could have killed us." Read that again. The man who beat Blockbuster said the only reason he survived was their debt. Not their vision. Not their meeting with him in 2000. Their debt. The goodbye present. Now watch how the trap springs. Around this time, a famous investor named Carl Icahn buys a big stake in Blockbuster and fights his way onto the board. Icahn looks at the fightback plan Total Access and says, "This is burning too much cash. Shut it down." And here's the cruel twist. On paper, Icahn was kind of right. Blockbuster's books did look dangerously thin. The company did look like it couldn't afford this fight. But why did the books look so thin? Because 2 years earlier, they'd handed nearly $1 billion to Viacom on its way out the door. Nobody in that boardroom was connecting those two dots. They looked at a company gasping for cash and blamed the one thing that could actually save it, the online plan. They never blamed the goodbye present that drained the tank in the first place. So, they started pulling the plug on the future to survive a wound from the past. By 2007, the fighting pushes CEO John Antioco out. In comes a new boss, Jim Keyes. He'd run the convenience store chain 7-Eleven. A stores guy, a brick-and-mortar guy, and almost immediately Keyes cuts the money going to the online fight. He publicly waved off Netflix as a real threat. Now, it's easy to call him the villain. But look at the numbers he inherited. Remember those $300 million in notes from 2004? They carried 9% interest. Let me make 9% simple. It means every year, just to hold that debt, Blockbuster had to pay the lenders $9 for every 100 they owed. On $300 million, that's $27 million a year bleeding out the door. Every year, forever, before a single movie was rented. $27 million a year, gone, for a loan that existed only because Viacom wanted its cash out. So the real story isn't Blockbuster was too dumb to see the internet. Antioco saw it. He built a plan. The real story is, Blockbuster never had the money to finish the plan it already had. The tank was drained in 2004. And everyone spent the next 6 years arguing about the engine. By 2010, still dragging over $1 billion of debt behind it, Blockbuster files for bankruptcy. The next year, a satellite company called Dish Network buys what's left of it for $320 million. $320 million. For a company that, just a few years earlier, was worth around $5 billion. That's what was left after the goodbye present, after the 9% bleed, after 6 years of fighting the future with one hand already tied behind its back. Here's the thing I really want you to take away, because this isn't just a movie store story. Loading up a company with debt so its old owner can walk away rich, that's not some rare accident. It's a move. It has a name in finance, and it happens across every industry, all the time. Usually the company survives it, slowly pays it down, limps along. But Blockbuster got unlucky. It got this exact move at the exact moment the internet was about to reinvent its entire business. It needed every single dollar to survive, and $1 billion of them had already walked out the door in Viacom's backpack. The lesson? When someone tells you a company failed to see the future, always ask a second question. Did they fail to see it? Or did they just not have the money left to chase it? Because in Blockbuster's case, they saw the future just fine. They just couldn't afford the ticket. So here's your challenge this week. A real one. Next time you hear a story about a company that died because it was blind, or too slow, or too dumb, pause it and go look for the debt. Look for the goodbye present. Look for who took cash out right before things fell apart. 9 times out of 10, the story everyone repeats is the distraction, and the real story is on a balance sheet nobody bothered to read. Learning to read that the money underneath the story is one of the most powerful financial skills you will ever build, and it's exactly what we do on this channel every week. If this rewired how you think about Blockbuster, hit subscribe, because next time we're pulling apart another everybody knows story and finding the money hiding underneath it. Educate, build, freedom, impact. I'll see you in the next one. This video is for education and history only. It is not financial advice. The figures here come from public company filings and reporting. Sources are linked in the description. Always do your own research.